Well, I found another weird shell. Or a cartridge case that was fired in the wrong type of chamber. I was going through, just sorting out some of this junk I found in the desert the other day. Old timey stuff, bunch of nuts and 22, really old 22 ammo. Anyway, I pulled out this odd looking shell. And I read the back of it. So I get that to focus. Come on, phone. And the light just isn't very good. Dang it. Man, I can't see it on the screen. I got my little headlamp on and I think that's making it worse. There we go. It's a 7mm Mauser. I was like, boy, that doesn't look like any 7mm Mauser I've ever seen. And it's not, because of what it is. Wow, and there's actually another one right here. Just found another one. Where's the... I just had a 30-06 that I dropped. Let me find that. So there's a 30-06. And what these are 7mm Mauser rounds that somebody has fired in a 30-06. Tell you, if you just look around and you'll find these type of shells always out somewhere where people shoot. I think sometimes they're not doing it on purpose. Pretty cool though. An old thermometer. We found a new place I've never been to before. And it has a bunch of purple glass and stuff from the early 1900s. Not all this stuff is from there. There's a bunch of more modern trash, and we found a bunch of these nuts, nails and things like that. They're free. Sometimes you need some nails. And better than pulling them out of boards already out. And some of the cooler things I found were these things. An old pocket watch. A wheat penny from 1911. That's called oxhide. And I really quickly looked it up, and there were buttons that were from work clothes from the 30s and 40s. There's a little white button. Those are pretty common. Find in old places. And then there's these ones that say U.S. Army. And it turns out they're zinc buttons, and they're from army trousers from the early 1900s, from like around World War I and after. And this watch, I found this part next to it. It's a part that covers the battery up, so it's not super old kind of watch. I don't know when it's from. No writing on it. And I don't think it's like from 1900 or anything like that. It's probably, but definitely way later, 50s or after. So that's just a guess. A little dirt falling out of it. And then a couple weeks ago, we were driving close to the Mexican border, and we stopped at an old railroad siding, and I found these things. And this says Interbond Special, and what it was is during 1930 to 1940, there was I guess a little rail line that had these little, they're kind of like those trolley cars, and it connected Waco, Texas to Dallas. And then this, I couldn't find this exact one, but it looks like a thing from a Cracker Jacks box. There were some called, what were they called? Campus Cuties, but they were from the 60s. And they look similar to this, but this looks like an older style. It's a woman. Got very short shorts on. He has some kind of high heel boots. She's got one of those little hats with the little things on it. Kind of reminds me from like the 20s or 30s. She's got like one of them dancing sticks. Kind of like a burlesque girl or something, maybe. I'm not sure. I couldn't find this exact one, but there was some stuff that was sort of similar. It could have come out of a cereal box or something too, but it was buried in the sand for long enough that protected it from the sun. And the last time anybody really should have been living at that town was by the 60s. By 63, they had pulled up the railroad tracks that ran by it. So I'm sure the town was abandoned probably long before then.